All right, everybody, we're back here with another episode of Rubbin' Dirt. Today we have Oliver Munson. We just got done talking to Justin Day a little bit earlier in today. Oliver Munson, for those of you who do not know, is the number one driver, so he's the man to beat when it comes to the tuners for the USRA. 24 feature wins. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, just all I know is racing. I guess it's about all I do. So, been a good season.
Oh, I definitely say it's been a good season when you got people talking about you and saying, well, he had to start choosing when to drop wins for his points. First question is, why did you choose tuners? Because that's not a class that a whole lot of people do.
Just where I started in back in 2011, and just taking a lot of time to learn them and figure out what to do, and a lot of trial and error. So, just continue to try and better that program there. And obviously shoot for that national title, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to go up a class.
It sounds like a very good plan. Now, how did you end up getting into dirt track racing to begin with?
My grandma and I, way back when, always went, and when she passed away, I don't know, I guess I decided that I wanted to start racing, so we found a car, got her out of the buckle brush, and here we are now.
Now, certainly this question here may not apply to you too much because you did win the national championship, so obviously you like the way the points are working out for you. But as far as the rules for different tracks, being able to choose kind of how they score things and everything else there, how do you feel about the current rule setup for your class? You feel as though it's more lenient for other people, it's a little bit more forgiving to miss out on races and still race for the championship, or is it one of those things where you got to be constantly, you can't have a bad race, otherwise you're not going to be there at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, the competition is pretty stout all the way across the board, so you can't really have a bad night, you just gotta keep pushing. Obviously it worked out, but they're middle of the season, I got to looking, and I wasn't getting near as many cars as some of them guys, but so we had to try and get some more passing points. But so that kind of helps you get passing points. Unlike some sanctions, it's just bonus points at the end of the year where we get them every night, so that helps out a lot.
Now, I know Justin did say that he got to race against, the other top four drivers, including yourself, there at Nationals. Who out there that you race against do you feel as though your biggest rival or biggest competitor is?
I got a bunch of people up my way. I got Brad Saul. He's always a top runner. I got Devin Jones. Just a ton of people. I mean, I can't really single anyone out. Everybody's usually right there each and every night.
All right. Now, if you had to choose out of all the tracks you get to race on, what would you say is your favorite track and why?
That's kind of a hard one. I'd probably pick Mason City. I guess it's my home track, and they've done a lot of work to it, and I like just being able to throw them over the shoulder and let her go. And that's how that place has been, and I've had pretty good success there, I'd say. So that's probably definitely my top top pick of a place to go that I've raced on so far.
Now, because you are the national champion, how amazing does that feel? Because you said you started racing back in 2011, so here you are. It's 2022. You're the national champion now. How does that feel coming off the end of the year, knowing that you hit the peak of your class, not only in the North but in the entire national?
I guess it's huge. A few years ago, I didn't, I've had good success there for quite a while, but I never really planned on a national title, I guess, being in the future. But this year, we just decided to go for it. And I'd say it's probably one of the top feelings you could have, I'd say.
Definitely, especially at the level of dirt track racing, because it doesn't get a whole lot of representation. That's what we're trying to help bring out to it, is get more people to know about it, bring them out, see them. I know a lot of people call your guys' class Murder Hornets, the front wheel drive, the bangers, the Sunday daily drivers. Now, how do you feel about that? Do you feel as though your class is entertaining to others, so it drives them away a little bit, or would you say that you guys still pack the excitement every day you come in and every race to pack in the stands and keep them held there?
I mean, everybody, there might be some nights that there ain't much excitement, but, I've taken part in a couple nights. It's been pretty exciting, the last handful of laps, and, it's all part of it. I think some people don't really give the class the recognition that it deserves. But at the end of the day, I know what I'm out there to do, and I guess I'm not out there to impress everybody around me. Just got to I try and represent the best I can.
Well put. Now, out of everybody that you got out there, that obviously you've got a strong support system, because that's what it takes. It takes a good team. It takes good support to make it to the level you did. Who would you say is your biggest supporters throughout this journey of growing from not knowing anything to here I am, I'm the king big dog now?
I wouldn't say the king big dog, but there's a ton of people. I got about probably a good handful of people that have been with me from the start, and they push me to get better and not give up on myself, I suppose.
All right. Now, next year, do you plan on still running the tuners and trying to make this a back-to-back national championship? Or is there another class you're looking at potentially moving?
It's kind of up in the air yet. To be honest, I haven't, since my last race, I don't even know if I've paid much attention to, I guess, the following season. I've just kind of been doing other things, kind of taking a break from it all. But there's talk of going a different route, and we've kind of talked about doing it again, but I definitely don't want to say for sure.
Well, right now you definitely are the man to beat for the national points. That's why I'm not trying to put all the pressure on you, but that's a huge accomplishment that not too many people out there can say that, hey, yeah, it started out as a hobby, and here I am a couple years later, I'm a national champion, and I'm being recognized and as one of the top 5 people in my respective class, as what the epitome of my class runs, and the best of the best.
Yeah, for sure. I think about it, about every day, and it's a pretty good feeling, that's for sure.
Now, it is called rubbing dirt, so we got to ask you a couple questions about your other top fives. Obviously, you've got to race against them. How do you feel about Grayson Wooten coming off? He's a very young kid. I'm extremely impressed that him being that young, he was the one that, when I spoke to Justin, he said, Grayson's the one that started telling me, hey, here's these little tricks here and there about the points. That takes somebody that's coming in that's really young into it to pick up on those things and already know how to get those points. You feel as though that may come into play a little bit more next year? You think he might challenge you more for the championship?
Yeah, for sure. When you know kind of what you got to do and how to benefit for the, come the end of the season is huge. I really didn't pay attention to exactly what I could do as in bonus points and all that at first. I was just kind of going out there and trying to get wins. But now I look back at it, there's so many things you can do to you gain an extra 10 points a night opposed to just going out for a win, and I think that'll be huge, the way you look at it now. I mean, I want to say he had like 13 wins or something, and
12 credited feature wins. And the only reason why I threw his name out there is because you're the North Region champion of the Tuners. He is the South Region champion. That's the only reason why I chose him as an example, because, good old North versus South kind of rivalry.
Yeah, for sure. He's, everybody around is pretty stout. So I think, like you said, with the point structure is kind of, I guess you kind of use all that stuff to your advantage, if you're running for a national title. You just kind of got to know and keep your notebook and pay attention to what everybody else is doing, really.
Now, with the experience you've gained this year and throughout your years of racing, if there wasn't any kind of issue for you, what would be your next big class that you would want to run in? Like, if there's just one class out there that, by the time you say, hey, I'm done racing, but I've hit this point, what would that class be?
Probably a stock car, I'd say. I've been around stock cars doing that stuff, kind of working on them, and for, I don't know, a handful of years. And definitely before I, hang it up, I definitely like to take part in at least a season in that or so and see how that goes.
I did ask Justin this question. A lot of video game people out there, lots of video game kids, they see it on NASCAR games where they've got a dirt track that's a road course, apparently. I personally am not for all that. But do you think with the tuners, you think that could be something that if the USRA would sanction, you'd be open to a dirt road course?
I don't know about a road course. I did a backwards race this summer. We were turning right. I don't know. I don't know if I could. It took me a while to wrap my head around that I was supposed to turn right. But I don't know necessarily on a road course. My luck, I'd end up in whatever the turn one catch fence would be probably. But I'm sure it'd be fun. But I don't know if I'd take part of it, I guess.
There is a lot of people that are looking at you as the guy. Again, huge success this year, 24 wins. Nobody came close to you in points. You almost beat Justin over by 100 points this year. Again, I cannot speak to the credibility of that. I'm all for the tuners. The Central region doesn't have any tuners, so the tuners that I get to see, they do get called the the bangers, the beaters. So they're not sanctioned completely by the USRA because there's not a lot. If you could have any kind of advice or impact to try to help bring more awareness to the tuner class, what would that be to people?
Uh, I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere, so that's what you can do if that's what's feasible. Go out there and do that. I enjoy it a lot. I've been around a lot of racing the last few, probably 3 years, and every night I have just as much fun as I'm sure guys running any other class. It's a lot of fun, and again, you can, it's one of them things. It's like racing back in the day. If you can get in there and rub somebody. I mean, you gotta have fun. That's what I try and do for sure.
Oh, definitely, and especially in this day and age when everything is so serious, tense, and dark, you got to have some sort of fun and relaxation on the weekends, whether that's you beating up on your friends, going out there on the track, and then going down to the bar the next night and having a drink. Everybody's got their own kind of fun. But what would you say racing means the most to you?
Just trying to be better than everyone else, I guess. I'm not. I don't like to give up when it's tough. So my biggest thing is, I guess I can prove myself that I can do it, and I don't need. I guess I don't need other people's assurance that I can. That's the biggest thing for me is I can basically just prove to myself that that we can do well and compete, I guess.
All right. Again, speaking to the credibility of your supporters and stuff, is there any kind of main sponsors or under sponsors that you'd like to say thank you to?
Oh yeah, I got a whole list of them, but my work fertilizer equipment specialists, they're huge supporters this year. Let me off of work when I need to get the car ready or whatever I need to do. Highway equipment, Oler Construction, Rowdy Speed Shop, Corey Plumbing and Heating, Jade Lang. It's everybody that I guess that supported me. And there's a list we could go on for hours, just right down to each and every person. But there's a ton of people that's made it go around, especially this year. It's been incredible, that's for sure.
I think my last question for you is, now that you are the national champion or one of the national champions, do you feel as though you are in a better position to now advocate for more tracks to try to become USRA certified for the tuners to kind of bring in more competition?
I don't know. I mean, it's tough just with the car count. It's tough for some tracks to want to do it. So I guess everybody's kind of got to work together and get that car count up so that each track wants to. They see that the car count is good. 4 cars a night isn't. Sometimes it's not. Obviously, that's not much fun. I'd rather be out there racing with 20 of them plus. So I guess really, we got to get that car count up at the tracks that are sanctioned and have their neighboring tracks, wanna include us.
That was well put. I can't think of any more. Do you have anything else you would like to kind of say? I've heard of an infamous crash at the Nationals where somebody may or may not have got involved, and you took a good little win on one night, but somebody had to pack it up at home early for a bent wheel.
What's that?
I heard there was a little bit of a beating and banging at the Nationals going in with the other top fives. Somebody got a bent wheel on it and had to pack up home, and you just ran away with it the rest of the night and took home that win. You know, do you
Yeah,
feel as though that's a kind of a disappointment to say that, oh well, yeah, I wanted to beat them all out, but I didn't want one of them to even have to pack it up home early.
yeah. I mean, it was good. That last or that first night there. I mean, I was that was huge. I was a ways back with five to go and got up there and was able to get the win. But I definitely didn't like seeing the cars that did get wrecked out and they couldn't make it for night two and whatnot. It's definitely fun having all the as many cars as we can. And having that competition out there. And, just kind of seeing, a lot of them guys I don't race with very often. So it's kind of nice to kind of see where we rank with among them. And it kind of sucks that some of them wrecked out, but at the end of the day, I guess I was able to pick up a win at least, and that was my main goal going down there.
Obviously, nobody wants to go home without a win, but sometimes you can't win them all, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. That's you sure can try, but you can't win every one of them.
Now, I think that is all the questions I have for you today. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
Not that I can think of after I just beat the chip there, but no, I can't think of anything.
All right. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Oliver Munson, your number one ranked top national driver and champion for the tuners of the USRA. It's been a great pleasure having you here, and I look forward to seeing what happens next year and keep in touch with you and kind of get a little bit of race post race interviews with you or coming up into racing and how your season's doing. So we look forward to hearing from you a little bit more and look forward to seeing how next year plays out for you.
Heck yeah, man. I appreciate it.